meeting of September 12, 2013. Roll call. Here. Here. Item number 4, approval of the minutes of the meeting of August 29th.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item A, we have a bid opening for 2 bike trail bridges on the Erie-Lackawanna and Monon bike trails.
We have 5 bids. First bid is from Riley Construction Company Incorporated, 7500 West 5th Avenue, Gary, Indiana. You have your bid bond. You have your Form 96. And you have your non-inclusion affidavit. Their bid is $3,522,905.99. Next bid is from Gary Up Construction Company Incorporated, P.O. Box 64879, Gary, Indiana. They have your bid bond. Their non-inclusion affidavit and their Form 96. Their bid is $3,987,800. Next bid is from Superior Construction Company Incorporated. Read the address. Oh, it doesn't say. It's a different Gary. You have your bid bond. You have your Form 96. And you have your non-inclusion affidavit. Their bid is $3,332,661.05. Next bid is from Goff Incorporated, 2200 East 88th Drive, Maryville, Indiana. You have your bid bond. They have their Form 96 and their non-inclusion affidavit. And their bid is $4,630,384.58. Final bid is from LaPorte Construction Company Incorporated in LaPorte, Indiana. Doesn't have a full address. They have their bid bond. They have their non-inclusion affidavit and their Form 96. Their bid is $3,654,252.35. Motion refer to the consultant engineer for tabulation and recommendation.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item B, we have a supplemental agreement with Beam Longus Neff for engineering services.
This is for the redesign of the bridge on 165th and Howard into a pedestrian. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the supplemental. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item C, we have an addendum to the Monon Bike Trail Bridge between the City of Hammond and the Little Cal Basin Development Commission. Ms. Cantar, have you reviewed this?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. President. This is an addendum to an agreement which I had given the Board of Works a copy, fully executed, and it's just for some additional work. But it's just an addendum to the agreement the Board had previously signed with the Town of Munster and Little Calumet River Basin Commission.
It doesn't change the dollar amount.
No.
It's just part of the intergovernmental.
Right.
Is there a motion to approve the agreement?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item D, we have correspondence from 4th District Councilman Emerson requesting $150,000 be allocated for overlays on Woodlawn, Locust, Mulberry, Cherry, and Vine Streets. Is there a motion to approve the transfer?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item E, we have correspondence from Spanos Painting requesting permission to close Hewen, paint the bottom of the toll road bridge.
They're giving us three options. One is to close the street completely. They said if they do that, they can complete the whole project in 3 days. Option 2 is to keep one lane open to traffic using flagman, and option 3 is a combination of both. I say that we approve the request, and I'll talk to them. The issue with trying to keep part of it open is you're probably going to get a bunch of people complaining you got paint on their cars. It might be better to just close it if it doesn't present a problem like for the fire department, response time at Bishop Knoll, or any of the facilities out there. You got Chicago Avenue, which is this a block to the north. Just have them close it totally and get it done in 3 days. I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item F, we have correspondence from Chief of Inspections Callahan requesting that we approve the low bidder for the demolition of 2500 New York, which was Hennigan Wrecking Company, for $394,500. Is there a motion to approve his recommendation?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item G, we have correspondence from Chief Miller of the Police Department requesting the approval of the retirement of Sergeant Finley, the relinquishment of specialty pay for Officer Godey, several disposal authorizations, and a parade route.
I make a motion that we approve all of his requests.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item H, we have a hearing on the property at 3847 Sheffield. Any interested parties, please come forward.
Good morning. This is Sharon Stolar's property. We entered into an agreement which the board approved to make some repairs there. Those have been done, and we've been waiting on a final inspection by the city so that hopefully they'll find everything in order and we can move to dismiss this then. So we're just waiting on an inspection.
Any idea from the inspection department when that's going to happen?
Okay, 60 days?
There's no rush. 60
Okay.
days is fine.
60 days?
November 7th.
Wow.
November 7th.
Already November.
All right. You also have item J?
I do.
Okay.
And that's a new matter. Glenn Barker's the owner. If I can get 30 days, 45 days to look at what's going
Same
on,
November date?
that would be fine with me.
November 7th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item I, we have correspondence from Attorney, that was J, just did J. Item I, hearing at 4618 Oak. Is there anybody here on 4618 Oak?
That's the Glen Barker v. matter continued to 11/7/13. He had Sheffield and he had Oak. Scary matter.
No, he had Sheffield and he had Toll.
Oh, I'm sorry.
4618 Oak Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Are you Mr. Tamayo?
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Okay. Mr. Tamayo, your attorney sent us notice that he withdrew as your representation. Is it your intention to get new? No? Okay.
This property's already been affirmed, second floor apartment, no fire separation, ceiling height, 6'2" to 6'8", varies. It's been affirmed to April 25th, so I'm not sure what's going on at this point.
Mr. Tamayo, is it your intention to remove the illegal second floor apartment in your building?
I'm sorry, I need interpret because it's a little speak English. It's not correct for the speak English.
Mr. Tamayo, I'm going to reset your hearing then for next week, and we'll have an interpreter available, okay?
Next week?
Is Spanish
Yeah.
your preferred
It's more
language
correct.
to conduct business in? Okay. Next week, 9 o'clock.
Okay,
Okay?
Good day.
Thank you. Item K, we have correspondence from Attorney Molina requesting a continuance to October 3rd. Is that a Thursday, Mr. Smith? Make a motion?
No,
No?
October 3rd.
October 3rd.
Make a motion that we set this for October 3rd.
All in favor? Aye.
Excuse me,
Motion
that's
carries.
for the property on
Item L.
1215th Street.
Correspondence from Attorney
Your
Bosti
attorney wants to continue.
requesting a continuance.
That is at 9 a.m.
Yes. On L, Mr. President, this was Joe Benaziac's case. Joe Benaziac withdrew and her boss got into the case, so it's a new attorney, even though it's an old case.
About 45 to 60 days, Mr. Smith.
November 7th.
Motion.
Make a motion that we continue this to November 7th.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item M, we have a notice of violation at 522 Spruce. Any interested parties, please come forward.
We're asking for the removal of the rear apartment at this property. There's no fire separation and no permits to convert.
You are Mr. Soroviak?
No, I'm Mike Hilarious. This is my property. He was the previous owner.
Okay.
That's just Lake County's mess up.
It's the building department's contention that you have an illegal apartment in the rear of the property that you own.
That's what they told me.
Do you agree with that contention?
Well, I really don't know. I mean, they told me possibly it was done in the 60s. He knows it wasn't me. I mean, that's the way I bought the property. I would never convert it into two. I would have much rather had it be a house. That's the way I bought it.
Are you renting the back out?
I'm renting both out. Yeah, they're just small apartments, but I mean, I can't vouch for what was done in the 60s.
You're not living in the front, you're renting both of them out?
Right. I lived across the street and I just bought it when it came for sale because it was right across the street from me. And that's probably my next case today.
Okay. Well, if you'd rather it be a single-family home, it appears that's also the intention of the building department. So how about if we set this for 60 days and give the two of you an opportunity to talk about what it'll take to
This would,
either
yeah.
convert that house properly into a two-unit or convert it back into a single-family home?
Well, it's two really small apartments. It's always been like that since, I mean, it's pretty obvious when you look at it. It was built like that. I mean, I don't know when. They thought the 60s, it was probably earlier than that because the blocks are old on the, you know, you can tell by the cement blocks and the foundation. It's just a crawl space. And you couldn't, I mean, I don't even know, it's probably 700 square feet total or something. It's small.
You work with them, Matt? Okay.
November 7th? 16th, is that what you want? Make a motion that we could move this to November 7th, and then you get to get together with the building department to find out.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item N, 531 Spruce. Any interested parties, please come forward. 531 Spruce.
Yeah.
All right.
The same situation here.
We did not.
No permits to convert the unit to a 2-unit, no fire separation.
All right, you want to do the same thing here, November 7th?
I mean, it's just been vacant. I left it vacant for the last 3 months now. I mean, I bought this building in the 70s. I called up the city to make sure it was 2 units. It's always been 2 units. It was built in like 18 something. I called to make sure because I knew it had one stairway. You know, I was asked who I talked to. Well, I said I couldn't tell you in 79, but I lived there 20 years. It was the first place I ever bought. It was a VA loan, I assumed, on a 2-unit. It's got separate utilities, separate, and he said maybe it was done in the 20s. And I couldn't tell you, but it was a VA loan. I came to the city to make sure. I mean, I was making $3 an hour when I bought this building, so it was a long time ago.
Sure.
And, you know, everything's separate. It was a VA loan. They assured me that it was fine to be 2 units. I lived there for 20 years till 2000. And all of a sudden, Mr. Kelly said maybe it was done in the 20s. But you could tell the stairway, there's no inside stairway or anything. Nobody would have had a house and gone outside in the cold and gone up stairs to your other unit. I mean, the VA did any electrical or whatever back in like 75. I don't know if they upgraded or what, but it was all approved back then, and they took over their loan.
How about if we give you 60 days? Maybe there's some things you can
I mean, there's no
talk
way
to
to
the building
convert it.
department to find out if you can bring the 2-unit up to code and make it feasible for you as a 2-unit, okay?
Well, yeah, I just don't know how you'd put fire thing between 2 levels.
They can
I
talk to
mean,
you about how
it's-
to do that.
I mean, like I said, it's an 1800 building. I mean, so it's, you know, what an 1800 building is. I mean, you look at the stairway, you know it's a 100-year-old stairway. I mean, it's no, you know, it's pretty obvious. And I certainly didn't do it. I mean, I can't vouch for the 20s, but I know it was done earlier than that even.
November 7th.
There's a motion, Mr. DeSantis. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Should I just contact you guys then? Okay.
Item O, 4603 Oak Avenue. 4603 Oak, any interested parties, please come forward.
Yeah, we're asking for the removal of the basement apartment, ceiling height only 6'1", no permits to convert, no fire separation, glass block windows, very dangerous situation. It was at one time being used as a daycare center.
Mr. Price?
Yes, the basement has been vacated, and it will no longer be used for anything other than service the furnace and hot water heater. I removed the center wall. The rooms down there have all been removed except for the furnace room and the bathroom.
We can get it affirmed,
Yep.
status date, and get back in there.
Very good. Mr. Price, thank you very much for your cooperation. Is there a motion to confirm the findings? All in favor? Aye. Item P, 4721 Torrance.
(4721) Torrance. We're asking for the removal of the basement apartment. Ceiling height is only 6'6", no fire separation, glass block windows, no permits to convert. It was a rental in 2011 and 2012. Currently not a rental, but it could be used as a rental again. Dangerous situation.
Okay, dígale.
In last year, in April, she
One second.
came.
Are you Miss Mendoza?
Her daughter.
You're Miss Mendoza?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm interpreting for her. She came last year in April, and they had asked her to remove the stove, which she did. She's no longer living in it. It's not being used as a rental. She purchased the property the way it is. We have the copy of the appraisal where it says everything that was in there. The only improvement she made was painting and small items, stuff like that. And she wanted me to ask you a question.
Okay. El año pasado que vine, la juez me dio permiso para estar ahí part-time porque yo no tenía dónde estar. Yo vivía en su casa en la noche. Ahora tuve que verme en la necesidad de sacar a la gente de ahí. Yo ya vivo arriba. No puedo No puedo hacer nada, yo no vivo ahí.
Nobody's living in the basement. It's not being used as rental. It was rented last year, the upstairs, the main level, not the basement. And she was residing in the basement part-time. So when she came to court in April, they told her that the case was dismissed, but they didn't give her any paperwork. She tried to come back to get proof that it was dismissed, and she couldn't find for that date. But she does have 2 sheets of paper here. So the thing is that they're asking her to remove things that were already done. The property was purchased in August of 2003, and like I said, we have the copy of the appraisal. She can't do anything. She has a lot of medical issues right now, and she was living with me part-time, but she's not because the tenants from the main level have moved out. So the basement does not have a stove, and there is nobody living there. She's just using it as storage. No furniture, no appliances, nothing.
Los inspectores tomaron fotos y se ve en la foto y yo no pienso fallar en las leyes.
The inspectors had came to the house and taken photos of the basement, and when she came back and she told the judge about, you know, her situation, the judge had dismissed it. She does not plan on living in the basement or renting it out or or using it for any type of residential purposes, just for what it is. There is an exit there.
Somos nomás 2 personas.
It's just 2 people living on the house on the upper level. No. I mean, we have a copy of the appraisal if you want to see it. She didn't know. I mean, like I said, she just had surgery about a week and a half ago. So she doesn't have the resources or anything to pay anybody or do it herself to remove anything. And she said that she plans to follow the rules of the city ordinances.
Matt, what additionally are you guys asking for that hasn't already been done on this property?
It's not a safe situation. There's bedrooms down there. By the pictures, there's a kitchen, everything. People have been living down there.
She said she wasn't.
Yeah, she was the one living down there. Part-time during the day.
Our concern is it's been rented before. I'm sure it can be rented again unless something changes.
Ms. Mendoza, if it's your intention to comply with the City of Hammond's request that the basement not be used for habitable space, then would you object to the city signing of findings in order that the basement is unsafe for habitable living and for renting?
Can you ask the question again?
Sure.
Just so we can understand it.
It appears to be Ms. Mendoza's intention never to rent the basement.
Correct.
Not
correct.
to use it as habitable space. Would there be any objection to the city recording that in a document that you're in agreement with us?
Correct. Like I said, due to her medical condition and her very limited income, she's not willing to deal with the people who were living there. We're on the upper main level where there's 2 exits. She was the one who was staying in the basement part-time. So no, she does not plan on residing or using it as any type of residential purpose.
What the city normally does in this situation is creates a document called a deed restriction.
Okay.
And we record it. It just basically says this is a single-family home. There's no habitable space in the basement. That way, if she ever sells the house, the next owner is aware of that too. So we can have that document prepared and get a copy to Ms. Mendoza for a signature and recording.
Okay. Did anybody want to see the appraisal where it was already purchased like that in 2003?
No.
No?
No, it's...
Yeah,
we understand this happens all the time as a buyer will purchase a unit that has been converted illegally into a multifamily unit.
Okay.
So,
Will she be given that paperwork today?
not today, probably in a week or so, we can send it to her.
Okay.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the findings in order and prepare a deed restriction on the property? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you guys very much.
Okay. Thank
Item
you.
Q, rental registration at 3520 170th Court.
Hello. My name is Earl Wilson, and this is a rental property that I have just the one. I'll be the first to admit I came in late on the last day to pay the fee. I had about 2 hours before closing. I was not aware that we had to have proof of property insurance on it before the fee could be paid. So when I was notified of that, I went over to State Farm on Homeowner Avenue. In the past, I've been able to get a policy in a matter of minutes based on the information they had already. When I went over there, they told me I had to get an inspection. So I felt defeated, nothing I could do. A few days later, I called to ask about this to my office in Highland, and they had told me that they had no record that there had ever been a policy on that property. So some time passed, and I checked back into it again when I was able to get the policy, and she said, let me give you a call back in about 10 minutes to see if you have to have that inspected. About 10 minutes later, she said, no, you're fine. I'll draw up the policy based on your last policy. And I told her, well, that's strange, because when I first tried to get this policy, they said they had no record. She said, I don't understand it, because we have the information right here. So I went over there. Within 15 minutes, I had policy in hand. So I feel that had State Farm had not messed up my information, which they've subsequently done since then, I would have had the policy in hand on that day and been able to pay the fee. So because of that,
You had a period
I was
that you had
late.
no insurance on a property?
I did.
You said you were closing. Did you just buy it recently?
No,
I thought you said you were closing.
no.
This property's been registered 2008, 2009, skipped 2010, and then registered again 2011, 2012. In 2008, the owner was cited for a citation for failure to register. I have a copy of that ordinance here too, which states any owner of real property in a city which real property is used as rental housing shall be required to register all such properties on an annual basis of each year. And then back in 2008, that citation was given a 12-month supervision. More likely the owner did register it as indicated.
How long have you owned the property?
Since 90. We moved out of there
Well, how long have you been renting it?
since 97.
When's the deadline to register a rental unit?
April 15th, and then if the property was vacant, the owner can bring in a lease attached within 30 days, at least be signed, we still allow them to register within that 30 days.
Mr. Wilson, if the deadline was April 15th, why are you now coming to us mid-September?
Well, very disorganized, and I was happy that I had at least remembered to come in on that day to do it.
Is this the only property you own in the city?
Yes. We just kept that as a contingency, fallback in case we had problems with the maintaining our present residence. Keeping that.
How many rental properties do you own, Mr. Wilson?
Just the one. It was rented out to a friend of ours, and we keep the rent very low because she's not in a very good situation. And currently, the Lake County is really, they've increased my taxes on that by 400%.
What's the will of the board?
Did you register every previous year?
It was registered 2008, 2009, skipped 2010, and then was registered again in 11 and 12. However, the incentive to initially register was probably due to the citation that was issued in 2008. courts dismissed that citation because he came in to register the property. He was cited for failure to register, so that was probably after the cutoff as well.
When I initially registered the first time, this was during that amnesty period. At that time, I was not notified that it had to be registered every year.
I don't see how it's possible when on the actual citation, it states for rental registration, the owner of the real property in the city, which real properties used as rental housing, shall be required to register all such properties on an annual basis of each year. That's included on the citation that was sent in 2008.
Did I come in to address this citation?
In 2008, I mean, it would have had to, you were given a 12-month supervision, so you had to take action on the actual citation to satisfy.
Or did I just come in and pay the registration fee at some point? I don't. My tenant, sometimes I'll have mail that she'll give me 6 months later that she's been holding and forgotten about. So I don't even know whether I'd received that.
I'd like to make a motion that we have him register and waive the late fee.
There's a motion to grant the appeal and waive the late fee, have the unit registered at the regular rate of $80. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I will be in before January to pay the next one. Thank you.
Thank you. Item R. R? R. 904 Field. Rental registration at 904 Field. Are you Mr. Moore?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Moore, this is your opportunity to explain to the board why you didn't pay your rental registration fees.
Okay, I've always paid my rental fee. I was unaware that if the apartment was empty, that you had to register anyway. Since November until July, this apartment has been empty.
Did you sign a new lease with your tenant in July?
No. The tenant that I have vacated the apartment in November, and after going through court and everything like that, I did not take control back over the apartment, house until March. I have police reports and everything like that. So therefore, I was not going to rent the apartment, the house, but then I decided in July to rent the house. So I rented the house, which took effect on August the 1st. Then I come to Hammond, I come to the office and I asked her, what do I need to register? So I got to register and she said, you have to come to court and pay the fine.
Mr. Moore, when you decided that you were going to rent your house again in July and you had your renter move in August,
right.
Did you sign a lease with that renter?
Yes, here's the release.
Do you have a copy of it?
Yes.
Bring it on forward. Thank you, sir. All right. Here we go. Pearson Moore did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Our records do indicate that the owner has registered from 2007 through 2012 on an annual basis.
Yeah, Mr. Moore, it appears that you've done exactly what you were supposed to do.
Right.
So I apologize for the inconvenience. Is there a motion to allow Mr. Moore to register his unit at the regular rate of $80?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Thank you.
Yes, please. Item S, 818 167th Street. 818 167th Street. Jim Jurek. Any interested parties, please come forward. 818 167th Street. Seeing as no one appears, is there a motion to deny the appeal?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item T, rental registration at 931 Wilcox. Mr. Barazza?
Aye.
Hi. This is your opportunity to explain to the board why you didn't register your unit at 931 Wilcox.
Well, like I said last time, we don't know that
supposed to register like every year, because I never registered my house, to be honest. I registered in Grand Point. I don't know they're supposed to come in over to Hammond. So when the people that used to live there moved, I started fixing a lot of things in the house. So I've never got nobody to. Now my daughter's moving in. So I tried to put hook the power back on. So NIPSCO told me they got to be inspector to coming over to check everything before they hooked up everything. That's when I didn't know, and I'm supposed to register right in Hammond.
This property's never been registered. For Mr. Barassa and the tenant, the tenant's been there approximately 2 to 3 years. First floor has been marked uninhabitable. The tenant is on the second floor, which is going to be a whole other issue with the building.
How long have you owned the property?
Since like 2000, I think.
It's never been registered?
Never been registered. Tenant's been there at least 3 years.
Mr. Barassa, is there any other information you think is relevant to the board in their determination of whether to grant or deny your appeal?
Have you rented it out every year since you owned it in 2000?
Yeah, but on and off. On and off, like people
So
moving in.
you've never lived in it, you've always rented
Yeah, no, I used to live it in the phone before.
You've rented it out every year for 14 years? Okay. All right. I'd like to make a motion that he pays the $500 late fee for 13 plus registers it, gets it registered by as soon as he can.
I'll second the motion.
30 days is...
Within 30 days, you have to have it registered.
I think you already did that.
Did you already do that?
For this one, right?
As of this morning.
Oh.
A ver, los papeles ya los registraste.
No, no me la quiero registrar porque no, él... Eso es cuando dice al voto.
You filled out the form, but you haven't paid.
Says I don't know how...
There's a motion before the board
¿Cuánto tengo que pagar?
that the registration fees through 2012 be waived, that the registration fee of $80 for 2013 be assessed along with one late fee of $500. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. You'll have 30 days to register your unit. If you fail to register your unit within 30 days and pay for it, our order will be vacated. You'll be required to pay all of your registration fees from 2000 through the present, along with all the late fees from 2000 to the present. Okay? Okay, thank you. Item V, U. Item U. We have correspondence requesting registration hearing dates for properties on Kennedy and 174th. Do you have a date, Mr. Smith? 3 weeks-ish.
What's the date?
He's motioning it in a second.
October 3rd. October 3rd? I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. October 3rd. Item V, we have an agreement to rehabilitate the property at 410 Conkey that's been prepared by Corporation Counsel. Is there a motion to approve the agreement?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item W, we have correspondence from Commissioner Gleason requesting placement of a deaf child on block sign on the 600 block of Conkey. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item X, we have correspondence again from Councilman Higgs requesting tree stumps be removed in his district. I believe that we had this correspondence prior. We forwarded it to Park Department. Park Department determined that some of those tree stumps are on private property. there a motion to refer this to Park Department again?
Private property, maybe we had to refer it to the law department so they could respond to the park department as to what their procedures should be, because we can't do the private property ones, but any on parkways we can do.
I believe the Park Department has removed tree stumps that are on public right-of-way. I'm going to refer this to the law department with a copy to code enforcement, maybe, to cite the homeowners. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item Y, we have correspondence from a homeowner requesting that the board look into the behavior of an aggressive dog. Is there a motion to refer this to animal control? Animal control's already deemed it a unsafe dog?
Well, typically, animal control would come and make a presentation, and the board would make a decision. So we need to schedule a hearing, invite animal control and the dog owner.
I see. Okay.
When do you want to do that? We typically give them, what, 2 weeks or?
We hear this?
Yeah, we
No.
do. Not very often, but we do every so often. October the 3rd? Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll set a hearing on the determination of,
You want to pet the dog?
no. All right. Item Z. Item Z. We have correspondence from the Whiting-Robertsdale Chamber of Commerce requesting cooperation from our police department on a bike ride. Is there a motion to refer this to Chief Miller?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2A. We have correspondence from it appears to be a tenant that is in a rental unit that's been marked uninhabitable, requesting 10 more days to find residents.
I would just like to point out, I believe on
So 504 Kenwood, is this is one of yours?
August 15th, I do believe the tenant contacted the law department and received a email from Lynn stating that he was already told that he cannot change the way that ordinance is enforced or change the number of days it's allotted. Now, the tenant is not held responsible if the amount of time it takes him to get his property out of the uninhabitable location. However, the landlord is. So I think this would be something that needs to work out between the landlord and tenant as far as finding him a suitable location. Or we even can refer them to the North Township trustee for temporary housing until he can find a more suitable or permanent location. However, I don't know about the ordinance does state that properties marked uninhabitable is a 10-day due to safety concerns and reasons.
Mr. Crowley, are you present today? No? Is there a motion to approve his request? Is there a motion to approve his request? Request fails on lack of a motion. Item 2B. We have correspondence from the 800 block of Truman requesting the placement of, appears to be a cul-de-sac. No.
It's a bus party.
Oh, okay.
Where do you see cul-de-sac on there?
Well, it doesn't say there's a block party. It says they want the road blocked due to a lot of kids and fast drivers.
Okay.
Block party here.
Road blocks are a lot of kids. Yeah, well, they're saying that during the block party, they're gonna have a lot of
I
kids
see.
out there.
All right, fair enough.
So doesn't this need to be referred to police chief?
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion that we refer this to the police chief.
Second.
All in favor?
Hopefully get
Aye.
a hasty response this weekend.
Item 2C, ratification of the 9/11 commemoration.
It was yesterday.
Correct. Is there a motion to ratify the,
We gave him a verbal to proceed, so I'll make a motion that we concur with the verbal he was given yesterday.
Second.
all in favor? Aye, motion carries. Item 2D, we have several garage sale permits submitted for approval.
Make a motion that we approve them all.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, motion carries. Are there any other matters from board members?
Matter. Dyer Construction Company is requesting a closure. They're working on the bike trail for the Port Authority, and they need to close 112th Street for the installation of a concrete crosswalk. They'd like to start on September 16 and open it back to traffic on September 26. I'll make a motion that we approve the closure, and they have a detour they've worked out with the City of Chicago.
All in favor? Aye, motion carries. Are there other matters from
I
board
have one
members?
from Councilman Emerson and Councilwoman Venez. They had requested to get some curbs painted and no parking signs, and Mr. Gleason apparently went out and said it was okay to do, so I would make a motion that we approve that.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, motion carries. Board would like to recognize Councilwoman at Large Janet Vernez. Thank you very much again for attending our meetings and staying involved with the business of the Board of Public Works and Safety. Are there matters from other board members? Any new or old business? Public expression. The meeting is now open to the public. Anybody from the public wishing to address the board, now is your opportunity to do so. Sir, did you have something?
My name is Nick Spanos. I'm case E, the very first page. I'm sorry, I never been in a place like this and did not know how the system works. We request for traffic lane closures. Can you please tell me what the...
Yes, Mr. Spanos, the board made a decision to grant you permission for a full closure to do the bridge painting.
Full closure.
Yes, sir.
Closure for 3 days.
Thank you.
For 3 days.
When are you going to start?
Are we going to be getting any paperwork or verifying that or...
If you can wait until after the meeting, our secretary will give you an approval letter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Provide all proper signage, right? You're going to provide all the signage so that people know, so they don't drive right up to the construction site at the first cross street. You're going to have a sign that says road
Yes.
closed up ahead.
TCS traffic company will be doing the traffic and they know how to do it. They closed Hoffman Street 3 years ago the same way, and before that 149th Street the same way.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else from the public wishing to address the board? Last chance.
Motion adjourned.
All in favor?